Welcome back to my channel, and today I thought I'd film. It's a gloomy day outside, like it's raining. It hasn't rained in so long and it feels like a fall day, and yeah, I thought it'd be a good day to film since I spent all morning cleaning and didn't have much going on. So today's topic, I was like trying to come up with ideas of what to film, and so I was trying to think of things to film, and I've been watching Dave Ramsey all morning on YouTube on my TV while I was eating breakfast and cleaning. And I just thought to film about maximizing your single season. Now, this isn't a Dave Ramsey thing. It was Anthony O'Neill, who used to be a Ramsey personality. This idea was from a former Dave Ramsey personality, Anthony O'Neill, and I listened to his podcast and YouTube channel, and he had a topic of maximizing your single season, and I feel that I'm a perfect example because I recently bought a home earlier this year or very end of last year, and I have been single the whole time. I have been single for 5 years. I am a single mom, and I will post like previous videos of me going into detail of my journey and the process and all that. So this video isn't about that. That's just part of, or a huge part of, how I maximize my single season. I filmed this while getting ready, just so I'm not just like sitting. Like I like these getting ready with me videos because I'm like doing something. You can watch how I do my makeup, and I'm not just like sitting here talking. I'm actually doing something. And so yeah, so I'll get started on putting makeup on my face. So the last video I did a get ready with me, I was showing all the products. This is basically the same thing, nothing special. And with that, I feel like how I maximize my single season is just really being focused on myself and my goals. I didn't have anyone to distract me that whole time. And yes, I dated. And yes, I had fun with friends. Like, remember, like, I was a single mom, and so it's not like I was really going out like I was like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago when I was last single, and when I obviously wasn't a mom yet. So therefore, that allowed me to save more money because I wasn't going out with friends and, drinking and partying. It was on a very rare occasion. And I don't know where it cut off. It's annoying. So let me start over. So when you're single, it allows you to focus on yourself and save money, especially going out. Like the last time I was single and no kid was over 10 years ago. So being that I'm a single mom and older, I'm not going out anymore, hardly at all. And of course I did this past 5 years with, living at home. And so I had money too, but I just didn't because I was focused on, buying a home and moving out. And when, you're single and not really looking for a partner, you're not going out as much to meet someone, and you just don't have the time to spend, the money. Because, a few years ago, things were that expensive, but now, oh my God, like y'all already know how terrible it is right now with like inflation and how things have gone up so much. Like, it's crazy. So it's a good thing that I'm not going out as much because it's so expensive. Like now it's like crazy. But back then, and even still back then, it would still cost a lot just to go out often, or more than you needed to. And so for me, being at home and being a mom, living at home and being a mom to a young toddler, like I didn't need to be going out and wasting my money on partying and whatnot. So that worked out for me because I was already in my early 30s. Not that age matters, not that you can't go out, you know, if you're older than that, but you guys know what I mean. Like by that time you're already over it, especially if you started like, you know, in late teens, early 20s. Like by the time you're in your 30s, you're kind of over going out because you've been there, done that. Just looking at my notes here so I can be focused on filming and knowing what I'm talking about. So the next thing with maximizing my single season is really allowing me to focus on my goals and how to achieve those goals. So being that I didn't have, you know, my child's father to think about or whoever, boyfriend to worry about, it allowed me to focus on my goals that only were for me and my son and nobody else. When you don't have to worry about someone possibly being in your future, it allows you to focus on your needs and not their needs. And there's nothing wrong with that, but when you don't have a relationship, you're kind of like free for your life to go in either, you know, direction. And being that I was, you know, especially in the beginning when I first moved back home, I didn't know, like I didn't know anything, but who would, you know, when you go through something major like that, you just kind of take it all in and you kind of reset and think about what, you know, your steps are in the near future and then of course in the, you know, far future. And my thing and for me, yes, you don't know what the future holds. No one does. But I did have a plan. And I think that's most important is to have some kind of, you know, plan. Like, and I really didn't like date it. I didn't really have 6 month, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plans. My camera keeps shutting off all the time. I don't know why. So where I left off was that I didn't really set a date for any of my goals. Not towards the very end of my home buying journey. Again, it's more in detail on previous videos, but I basically didn't have an end date goal until end of last year, end of 2020. I said I am going to get a house by December of 21, and I did. But before that, I didn't really, and I probably should have, but you know, that's here nor there. But I will now, because now that you know, I have this, I have, you know, achieved that. My next thing is to pay down some debt, and I feel like if I set a date of being debt free, of course, besides, you know, my home, with like credit card debt and loans, and I think that will work better versus before when I just left it open ended. Because obviously setting a date worked because I, you know, once I set a date for me being a homeowner, it obviously worked. Continuing on, since it looks a little different, the sun is coming out, so I turned off my light to give it some natural lighting. So I hope it looks okay. So continuing on, yes, so maximizing your single season with getting out of debt and putting an end date will really help. So when you're single, you just don't have the distraction of not only, like I mentioned earlier, going out, you know, and spending money to meet someone or when you're dating, because okay, I'm a female and let's be real, like I'm not spending money on dates really. It's mostly the guy. Like that's just like, gentleman needs to be a gentleman and mostly pay for these dates. However, when you are, more serious in a relationship, like yeah, the girl or the woman would pay, but not at first, ladies. Definitely not splitting bills, not splitting checks. Like, no. Find you a guy that just doesn't do that. Sorry, but that's a whole nother video. But anyhow, when you are more invested or more in a serious relationship, yeah, like both, parties going on, these dates or doing stuff, especially like vacations and all of that. So when you're single, you're not spending money on that stuff. You only have to worry about yourself. Hence, save money for bigger things. And me personally, I hardly went anywhere because of that. Like, because I didn't have anyone to go with, like a significant other, I wasn't going on vacation. I did like little weekend things, 1 or 2 nights, mostly with my son, maybe 1 or 2 times with just me. And then the only like big trip I did was to Washington, D.C. since I'm in California. That's a long way. And I was gone for like 5 days. And it worked out for me because my friend and her husband were so generous. Of course, I stayed with them. Not just that, like I didn't really pay for much. Like they, they might have cooked like once, and then the other times we went out to eat like the whole time. And most of the time they treated. So I saved money on. My camera keeps rudely shutting off. So as I was saying, long story short, I just didn't spend much on that. The big vacation I really only did in the 4 years of being at home. So now, if I was in a relationship, we would have went to Hawaii or something. Would have spent way more money. But obviously when you're single, you're not spending all that money, because even though you would share costs with the significant other, you spend more money. So it's like, yeah, you guys are sharing costs, but yeah, your budget or what you do is going to be elevated because, there's 2 of you, so you can afford to do something bigger. And when you're by yourself, it's like, yeah, you have friends, you can do stuff, but let's be real, like if you're like my age, a lot of people have, kids and all that, so you're not really doing all these extravagant vacations and all of that because, not just money wise, but like, there's more logistics when, you have kids and a family. Like it's there's a lot of factors into that, not just the money. So yeah, as far as when you're with someone, you do spend money, because my last example is, not only vacations, but you're always going out to eat, because that's what you do. You do, activities and, going out to restaurants and, all that good stuff. So, yeah, like when you're by yourself, like a lot of times you don't want to do that stuff by yourself, so you stay home. Like ever since I bought my home, like I am home more because it's mine. I have my own space, and there's nothing to do with somebody else. I can stay home. So it's a big money saver. And then when I was living at home and still single, like, yeah, I would stay home. So big money tip. It's just to be single, because you're not doing nothing really. But moving on, and just when you're with someone, you're just more distracted. A quick story time, like right before I started the process with buying this home now, like I was looking, but like it was around this time of year, which I can't believe, like in October everything went down. So I was talking to someone and we stopped talking like right before, like it was like August, so it was long before October. But it was like he was like the first person I really liked since being single. Like it was all it like in the beginning it was like right, like everyone else before it was always something. Like him, it was just everything was going right. Like I liked him or whatever. And then so didn't work out. He was younger than me, and I really feel like if I would have kept talking to him, like I might not be here, like in this house. Maybe not, but you just never know. That's just how God works. Like for all I know, I might have been distracted with talking to him or going out with him and not have seen this place and not been able to go visit this house and for like the showing or whatever. Like you just never know. And deep down, I wasn't gonna let me dating someone get in the way of moving out first. Like I said, I wanted to be moved out and be a homeowner before a relationship. And I did that, and it cost like a potential relationship, maybe with him, maybe with someone else, because I really didn't talk to anyone since him, essentially. Like I just really haven't. I mean, I've been on dates and stuff since, but it's crazy how it's already been a year. It went by super fast. Like so much has happened, but yet it like time just flew. And so I haven't really had the time to really be anything serious or really talk to anyone like that since I moved. But now I have, and it's just crazy because not really to make myself feel better, like obviously I'm over it, but I really feel like that happened for a reason, and I just feel like whether it be him or someone else, like I just wasn't meant to, like. So yeah, through this whole process, like looking back, like everything's meant to be, or through this process, whatever is meant to be and all that, like I feel like a lot of things are in your control. Like we have free will and all of that. I'm in a space where I'm just letting things be and not force anything. And for a while I thought I could do both, do this process of home buying and also date and find a relationship, but it wasn't the case. It's worked out for me so far. Of course, I make sure to be intentional with everything. I feel like I was intentional this past, 4 or 5 years with what I truly want, and I achieved what I truly want. And being alone just allows you to focus on what you truly want, not only just think about it, but actually like execute it. Because what else are you gonna do? You don't have a significant other to distract you from it or steer you in another direction. So yeah, I just wanted to pop on here and give my story time and examples of what it means to really maximize your single season. I am still in my single season, and yeah, hopefully it will come to an end soon. We'll see, but I just know I am truly blessed and happy to be in this season, really focus on myself and what truly makes me happy. Okay, so I just put on some lippy and I threw my hair in a clip so I look more presentable because I am heading out soon. And so when I seen the video from Anthony O'Neill, I thought to myself when he was talking about maximizing your single season, and I think you want to do a course or something, and it's just like I did that without even thinking that it was maximizing anything. I was just doing what I wanted or needed to do, you know. And I just did that without even knowing that I was maximizing anything, that I just had this huge goal to buy my own home. And I did that, and I just happened to be single the entire time. And so if you're single out there, just know, like, now is your time to do you. Now is your time to do what makes you feel happy, what, just to buy a home or anything. Like, you know, pick up a new hobby, increase your income, go back to school. Just, you have all this time to not worry about somebody else, you know. Of course, not having a child, of course, doesn't count. But, you know, just like, there's nothing wrong with being in a relationship, but you know, or everyone knows that your mindset is totally different when you don't have a significant other. You know, like, you know, to worry about spending time with them and sharing anything, and them getting in your head, because not everyone is supportive of their significant other. You know, sometimes people talk you out of something that you've wanted to do. So, not to be negative, but we know it's real for a lot of couples. So, I hope that my single season is for much longer. You know, I hope to be in a relationship soon, but, you know, I'm just letting it happen on its own, and I'm just grateful to have done all the things I've done the past 4 or 5 years without a relationship, without being in a relationship. So, yeah, Anthony O'Neill, I hope you find this or see this, that I am a perfect example of maximizing my single season with buying a home, increasing my income, and just achieving big and small goals without being in a relationship. It allowed me to focus on myself, save money, and achieve my goals. Yeah, I am a single mom. I am 35 years old, never been married, and I took this time, and I took that 4 to 5 years of being single, still single, to achieve my dreams. Maximizing your single season works, and it allows you to achieve any goal that you have. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.